Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. It's time, once again, for another depressing dose of dismal Disney. Well, folks, I am very sorry to report that earlier today, Disney's shareholders were sufficiently gullible and easily manipulated into voting to keep not only Bob Iger, but Disney's entire existing board of directors in charge of the failing company. While I and many others had hoped that Nelson Peltz and former Disney CFO Jay Rasulo from Trian Partners would be voted onto the board, I had a bad feeling that Iger and his existing cronies would prevail so that their damage to the Disney company could continue unabated. But before proceeding, I'd like to ask everyone to please like this video, please subscribe to this channel, and please press the bell to receive notifications. Thanks! But yesterday afternoon, Bill Ackman, who is an American billionaire hedge fund manager and the founder and chief executive officer of Pershing Square Capital Management, posted something very interesting and lengthy on X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. There have been a few recent articles in the press about Disney quote-unquote winning its proxy contest with Nelson Peltz based on early election returns that have been leaked to the media. We don't have an investment in Disney, but I thought it useful to point out the inappropriateness of these leaks to the press. Only the company and its advisors have access to how shareholders have voted before the day of the annual meeting. My understanding is that it is illegal to release the outcome of the vote prior to being finalized, as it has the effect of manipulating the outcome. Here, the company and/or its advisors have leaked that Disney is winning the contest. It is really inappropriate that they have done so. And how does one know that it is Disney and/or its advisors that are the source of the leak? If Peltz were quote-unquote winning, there would be no leaks to the press. That's completely true. Bill Ackman really knows what he's talking about. The reason why the progress of an election for directors must be kept confidential until the results are final is that leaking the results can affect the ultimate outcome. Current Disney board members would obviously know this, but they apparently did it anyway to help ensure that they would win. Institutional shareholders worry about offending management by voting with an activist. They are concerned that if management learns that they have voted against the incumbent directors, that they may lose quote-unquote access to management going forward. In other words, Bob Iger is less likely to come visit and/or take a call with a shareholder if the shareholder voted with the dissident. Does that sound like intimidation to you? Because it does to me. This is clearly a close election. Institutions don't want to risk voting against the incumbent board if it is clear that the activist will lose. They want to be on the winning side of the election. Here, the company and/or its advisors have leaked the early results in order to tip more institutions and other shareholders to vote for the incumbent board, unfairly tipping the scale in the incumbent board's favor. In other words, an institution may think if Peltz is going to lose, it is not worth taking the risk of offending management by voting for him. It's really sickening when you know stuff like this is going on. This is unfortunately not an uncommon practice. Years ago, in our proxy contest with ADP, the company and/or its advisors did the same thing. The SEC should do a thorough investigation of this proxy contest and appropriately punish whoever is responsible for this miscarriage of shareholder governance and justice. And I do sincerely hope that the SEC does investigate Disney over this apparently manipulated shareholder proxy vote. Companies of the caliber of Disney and/or its advisors should not behave this way. Lastly, but importantly, I think highly of Nelson Peltz. I am sure he would be greatly additive as a member of the Disney board. Ask yourself, why is the company fighting so hard to keep him off? The fact that the company leaked the early returns to the media is further evidence that an activist of Nelson's caliber deserves to be on this board for all shareholders' benefit. And I totally agree with that statement. Bill Ackman then threw his support squarely for Nelson Peltz, who unfortunately did not win. But I completely agree that if the leaked early proxy vote results violated SEC rules, then Disney does indeed need to be thoroughly investigated. When George Lucas publicly threw his support for Bob Iger and Disney's existing board of directors in very glowing Disney-esque language that had clearly been written for him to sign his name to, I was genuinely shocked because this is the same man who had called Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy white slavers after he had seen that they had not used his treatments for their Star Wars sequel trilogy movies. And his statement was released on the same day that the first ever trailer for The Acolyte was released, as I had talked about in a video that I had released on March 20th, showing just how carefully crafted this whole series of events was. And all I'm going to say to Disney shareholders is this: enjoy the falling Disney stock value as the company continues to produce message-infused crap that very few are interested in watching. How appropriate that Disney stock value dropped nearly 4 points today to just under $119 per share in response to the proxy vote. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.